Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Leal, and today, February 3rd, depending on the place, could be February 4th, Uranus becomes direct in Taurus. Last year, 2025, it has this little entrance from July to September in Gemini, where it initiated the retrogradation in the degree 1 of Gemini. In November, it came back to Taurus, and right now is awakening in the degree 27 of this sign to make the closure in this sign. This ends in April 25th of this year, 2026. So the official entrance that Uranus did in Taurus happened in 2019. And it is usually in the last degrees that a planet goes through that we do this integration of all the learning where we have the final lessons that can give place to this new cycle. So every transpersonal is associated the most to collective processes, but in these phases we feel in a profound way in our individual lives, and even this could be increased with all the activations that we are going to have from planets that are moving out from Aquarius from this moment until the end of February, the beginning of March too. We are going to feel that until that moment. And this, of course, includes the next eclipse, the next solar eclipse in Aquarius that is going to be very, very powerful. The eclipse happens on February 17th. I'm going to talk about that later. And as they are squares, they are not comfortable. They are showing us the necessary movement so we can really reconnect with life in those areas where aspects of our experience have been stagnated, where there is death, which represents the opposite axis, that is Scorpio. When Scorpio is expressed in this, in awareness, the death is a transformation, a change of form that gives way to a new revelation of light. But when this is expressed from the attachments, the resistance, is absence of life, is the stagnation where anything grows, because energy is being retained in a space that doesn't have freedom to circulate in a creative way. Because in the end, nothing is stopped. I mean, we could put energy in a project of life, whatever thing you can think about, and it could seem that there is movement. But if that project of life is not actually aligned with the purposes, the evolutionary purposes of the soul, or we are not giving a certain function for our path, could seem that there is movement, but we are really feeling that we are in the same space and even more disconnected from the enthusiasm. Everything becomes plain. So we could sustain ourselves for years that way. And when people are not seeking to move out from their control zone, it is not a comfort zone, it is a control zone. So the life comes to do that favor, and not always in the ways that we like the most. This means that the economic crisis, the crisis in relationships, the disruptive change is what many times pushes us to break with the limitations that we ourselves were imposing. And even other times we could feel that we need to change something, but we don't know where to start. And precisely is the Uranian energy the one that could reveal in an unexpected way a new creative possibility. In general, both Uranian and Aquarian energy, it is not something that we assimilate in a fluid experience as human beings. I mean, so some people could have much tendency to want to stay in the same way. They are rejecting the breaking of old orders. And in the other polarity could be that people say that they desire changes, but only in the way they want, not as life is presenting them, especially in Taurus, which is the house in our natal chart that for all of us, we are going to have this tendency to want stability, to be, calm, to feel sustained. Taurus is a sign that doesn't have much affinity with this planet, but during the last 7 years, we have to learn about this, to reconcile with this and to integrate anyways. So integration is this acceptance of what is happening as it is, while we can focus ourselves in adaptation or finding resolutions to move forward. But it also happens that resolutions could be giving these new steps, making different things that we are not accustomed to, that could generate uncertainty. And basically, this is embracing Uranus and Aquarius. Many times we could do this with excitement to open ourselves to the unknown. But squares, usually, they are showing us the fears or the detachment of something in which we have made over adaptation, and that this doesn't bring growth, or breaking with a crystallized perception of what we think about ourselves or life. Taurus possess this slow quality because it's the phase where the energy is accumulated and take form in the matter. So transits of Uranus in here, we could experiment them in one polarization as a liberation that we want right now, but truly requires a process of assimilation, both internal or external. That many times is rejected because it is not comfortable, and our processes that we cannot, we cannot speed. But and even when we generate changes from this place of running away, of escapism, the manifestation comes back in a different scenario. So on the contrary, the other polarization could be an acceleration that we are resisting. We are resisting the rhythm that we need to move forward right now. And truth is that resistance is an illusion of human ego, because there is no control. This energy could be presenting as chaotic, as shocking, sudden, revolutionary. It is the disorder that leads us to rearrange the pieces so other forms of life can take place. Or we can let go of the pieces that are not actually feeding, nourishing the earth, so we can blossom in a symbolic way. So the more that we are trying to force things to not move, which could be the shadow of Taurus, other situations are going to be presented in other areas: economy, our body, the people that surrounds us, or in ourselves, feeling like anxious, emotionally dysregulated, because those are the synchronies of cosmos and the soul that are calling us to change. And when we can really surrender to the process, we always discover a new form of freedom, whether this is internal or external, of authenticity, originality, enjoyment, because this is Taurus, connection with creativity and with life. We could even give value to things that we didn't value before, or giving the value to ourselves that we didn't recognize when we were staying in dynamics or structures that are keeping us in this automatic pilot and that are disconnecting ourselves from the soul and from the presence, which is truly the true death. The rest are beginnings and endings, births and transformations that are conforming the cycles of the cosmos and life. And the more that we embrace that nature of those cycles, the more that we are aligning with this unique essence, this original essence present in everything. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.